Hi, welcome to my show. Autumn is here. We are going to welcome Simin Farkhondeh to the show today. She is a caretaker of her mom. She's went through the stages of Alzheimer's with her mother. And we want to just share some stories and share some things that maybe some people are going through or maybe they can relate to, and just kind of help somebody who's out there knowing they're not alone. And it's a tough thing to do. And we just want to share some information with you. Welcome, Simin.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a wonderful program. Very necessary.
Thank you. Well, I just want you first to just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a filmmaker and educator. I work with a news agency called Democracy Now! And I have been living in the United States for about 30 years now. I was born in Germany, raised in Iran. My parents, my father was Iranian, my mother's German. And so I'm a single child in my family. And so I've taken care of my father as well when he had cancer. And that was over 20 years ago. And now in the past 10 years, perhaps, I've been taking care of my mom one way or another. Sometimes across the ocean, organizing, getting her the care she needs or the doctors she needs, and then also at home, with my family. And I have a daughter who's 16 and a husband. And so they've all been very much a part of this as well. It's inevitable.
What are some of the things that you encountered that, you didn't realize that you weren't prepared for? Like when this happened, like what did you learn about yourself? Like, what did you have to do? What was the challenges?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I wish I had done is been more aware of things that happened to my mom health-wise, even much before, when my father died in 1998, my mother came to Iran to the funeral, and she had a thrombosis and almost died too. And she was only 60 at that time. And I really should have made her go and take care of her heart issues, which she had already, and I didn't think of it. So, it's been a series of things that have led to where we are now, where she has vascular dementia. But, I didn't know. And she was always the one that urged me to go to the doctor and do this and that. So I didn't expect that I would have to do that for her,
Right. That happens a lot. That happens a lot where that they usually take care of themselves. So you're not aware of all their medical history and things like that. Just because you're doing your life, you're living your life, they seem okay, they seem healthy, they seem fine. But it also is a lesson to us. Unfortunately, is in hindsight, but it's a lesson to us, and hopefully we can share this with other people to be more proactive with their family member and to know their medical history, especially, is so important, and their medicines and where they go to the doctor also. And you can call the doctor. You can get involved and let the doctor know that you're involved and you want to to update on your parent and make sure they have this certain tests and things like that. Because sometimes they know they're supposed to go somewhere, they're supposed to go to the doctor or supposed to take a test. They don't really want to, or medicines and stuff like that. They don't really want to. They don't feel like it. They don't think they need it. So, it's about being proactive, and getting involved with your family.
Absolutely.
So what have you been able to speak to doctors, and were they very helpful in the beginning? Did you know exactly what to ask for? Did you understand that part?
It's been difficult because in my mom's case, there's a lot of heart issues that have led to a lot of other things. But underneath that, the dementia was there. It's not, the dementia was there. And, I didn't realize that something like heart issues could lead to the blood flow getting bad into the brain and then causing things, like dementia. So all these things, I mean, it's so important to inform yourselves, even for yourself, really. I mean, I've learned a lot through that. I had many women coming in to take care of my mom the 6 hours a day that I had during my work hours. Many nationalities. It was incredible. I wish I had taped it all. And some of them stayed longer. Some of them stayed only a day. So there was this one wonderful woman, Fumi. We've become friends. She's from Nigeria. And she and her family were just really wonderful. They loved Katheryn, my mom. And sometimes their kids would come as well. And, it was just cool for my mom to have that here. And then when I went, I had to go away. I forget what I was doing. I was away for a week and I didn't know what to do. And then, they said, well, we'll take her. And so, I negotiated a fair, price, but they were so sweet. They were going to take her anyway. I was like, wow, that's amazing. They felt they saw her as a part of their family in a way, because they're new immigrants. They've only been here like 6 years. And so all their grandparents and everybody is over there in Nigeria. So anyway, so my mom stayed with them and they took her to church. It was just fabulous, like she was the only white woman in the whole church taking care of the babies running around. And it was so funny because there was some other Nigerian ladies that came later on too. When Fumi, at one point, she was pregnant and she couldn't come. So another woman came and she was Nigerian too. And she didn't even know. Then when she got here, she's like, oh my God, it's Katheryn. I know her. I'm like, how do you know her? And she's like, well, I met her at the church. She was running around with my babies. It was really great.
But that's good for her. The stimulation is really good for her.
It was, it was fabulous. It was fabulous and really lucky for us.
How does it affect you emotionally? Emotionally, for me, it was a roller coaster. It's like, I was always worried at work. I was always worried when I wasn't home. I always rushed to try to get home. So emotionally at that period of time was really, really bad for me. For me, that was my experience, and feeling like I was alone and feeling like I didn't want to make a mistake on any kind of decision that I make. And then every day was something new and different, So how was it for you?
Well, I remember the first time that I noticed something was different, and I was like, oh my God, there's something going on. But I wasn't even proactive enough. I should have done something right away. And it took me a while to understand the magnitude. It's been very emotional, I mean, it's been a long road. And, at the end of the story right now, she's at the senior center at the home, but it's very difficult. And for me, I always feel like I didn't do enough. I'm constantly thinking, am I doing the right thing? Should I do this? Should I do that? It's very hard to be alone in this, and there is no right way either, I mean, ideally, I would have liked to continue to keep her in my home. In some ways, I feel like being at my house, it was better for her because we were here, we were loving. At the same time, I also understand that, it took a lot of time away from my daughter who was, growing up. She needed me as well. And one of the things that I found out is that in my household, because of my very strange hours, I could not give her routine. One of the things that you need so much when you have dementia is you're so confused. There's so many things that are the rugs constantly pulled away under your feet. So if you don't have a routine, it's crazy. And so my mom often was upset and I didn't realize she was hungry, but we hadn't done lunch yet, or we hadn't done dinner yet because my kid was coming later that day, or because I was leaving earlier that day, or what have you. And I'm realizing now she's much happier. And I'm like, why is that? And then I see the lunch comes, the breakfast, everything comes. Maybe it's not the best tasting, but it's coming on time and it's there, And what I can do is supplement it with stuff that I bring, like homemade stuff, but she gets it on time. Everything is, ready.
They have to have a schedule. Yeah.
No. They have to have a schedule. The other thing is that my bathroom and my house is totally not adequate. I live on a 6th floor walk up. I mean, I'm even thinking, I'm not the youngest. I got to start thinking about this. But in my bathroom, there's also stairs. So at one point, I realized I can't have my mom, bathe herself. So I would go. It's crazy. There's these 2 stairs, and then you put your foot over, and then you're in a beautiful big tub, And so I would somehow get her up there and get her in there. And can you believe it? One time, my mom slipped and she went, and I was like, oh my God, she's probably broken something. And I can't believe she did not break anything. She's a very strong lady, very strong lady. She didn't break anything. But I realized that bathing now, from then on, bathing became me and the caretaker together. We would do it, Like I had someone coming in 6 hours a day while I was working. So certain days I would take off certain hours and work on the other side, like stay longer at work, so that we could bathe her together. So that she would hold her on one level and I would hold it on the other. So it was just crazy stuff like that,
You have to change you have to change the way you do things. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot on everybody. It's a lot on the household. Okay. So you said something the last time. You were saying how hard it was on you and making the decisions and things like that. Now, I know that my mom is not here any longer. So, and I had grief therapy and all that and stuff like that. And I'm okay with that. What I'm still not okay with in the back of my mind is the guilt. It's like, did I make all the right decisions? Even though I know it was, you had to do it on the spot, or I didn't have all the information. I know so much more now. But I still have that in the back of my mind. Did I make the right decisions? And some decisions you can't change, you can't go back from. So, and my mom is not here, so there's nothing I can do about it, but I still have that, did I make the right decision? So do you have some of that now? Like, do you think about that?
I do. In fact, I'm tearing up right now as you're telling me, because I have it all the time. I mean, when I go to the senior center, I mean, the decision to have her there was a very hard one. First of all, the reason why it all happened, because, before COVID, I was looking, but I wasn't sure if I would do it. I just wanted a respite, really. I wasn't even going to have my mom be in a home. I just needed some respite time once in a while. So I did that a few times. And so I was looking for a place, and I had some surgery myself. So I was looking for a place. And so I found this place. And I negotiated just a few months of respite for me while I was recovering from the surgery. And then I realized the routine issue. I realized how much it had been taxing for my relationship with my child, Wow. And all this made me realize, my God, I've got to make this really hard decision, And so I said, okay. And I talked to the home and I asked whether they had a long-term bed, and they said yes. And so I made that decision. It was very hard. I felt very guilty. I mean, I listened to the show that you did with Daisy and her mom, who was in Puerto Rico. I understand what she was saying about people taking care of their own. That is, many of our non-Western ways, that's how it was, and people took care of their elders and figured it out in the family because also life was different, And so I was really trying to do that and figuring out. But then I realized that my daughter comes first right now. She's the one that needs to, even though my mom comes too. It's very hard. We're called the sandwich age because we have our kid and we have our mom, our dad, whatever. But I made that decision. And so then every time I go, I feel guilty, I tell you. So I'm trying ways to make myself feel better. So I try to make things that she will enjoy happen for us. So like, I try to, like last Monday, she had to go to the doctor. So I said I told the home, I want to take her to the doctor whenever necessary. That way I'm in the loop, you have less work. And then what I'd like is after that, we always do something special. So it was a beautiful day. So I took her to the park. She loves flowers. She loves watching the kids. We did that. Then we went and had a really nice meal together. And she really enjoyed that, So those kind of special times are good for both of us. I do that. And that makes me feel better about the guilt too, because I wanted to have a good time. The other thing is that it's so important. I can't tell you enough how important it is to go and be present at the home, wherever it is, because they have many people. They have 10 people to one person. They can, it's not that they want to, but it can easily happen that someone gets neglected. And Absolutely. So it's really on you to be there and see things happening. Like my mom had an abscess in her tooth, and it was on me to push that she goes to the emergency room. She had to go. And they were taking their time on it. And so that's one of the reasons, if you can afford it, to have someone besides yourself, if you can't always go, to go there once or twice a week. And, I've been talking to other people at the home. Like, I'm lucky I can afford, I found someone that I can afford a few hours a week. There was this other lady I talked to, and she had a similar situation. And I said, well, how do you afford it? And she said, well, what I do is I found friends that, every so often I give them something that I can afford to give, and they're good with that, and they like to do it, so you do what you can, but it gives you more information, and it makes you feel good, and it makes your mom or dad feel good, Whenever I go there, I try to bring some chocolates or things for everybody. That is great. Everybody gets happy when they get some fruit or whatever. And it's happened that I know other people there now. Sometimes I bring music from my phone, and I started doing doing some salsa moves. And this one guy, he's much younger. He's there for rehab. He's not there for dementia, but he's there. It's all mixed. So Victor, he started dancing. He's like so happy that I'm dancing with some salsa song. Just realize that, people really, especially during COVID, it's been so hard. All the programs have been asleep. Nothing's going on. So anyone who brings some life into the house, it's a good thing,
That's they all need that. And, that we used to do that. Thank God, when you said COVID, it's like, thank God that I wasn't going through it with COVID. I can't even imagine it. But we used to go up there, and they would have a party and stuff like that. And, we mingle with the other people. I remember I used to go help out. My grandchildren would help out. They would talk to the other people. And, it was very interesting. And I realized that there wasn't a lot of people who visited. The rest of the people, which was sad, and sometimes, they would need something, and sometimes you could do it for them, but sometimes nurses would say you couldn't do it. Like an outside person couldn't help them, in that way. So, you have to be careful with that. And
they are very frustrated. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, but, she was very frustrated, and she would tell me, in fact, I'm making a film about it, and I'm looking at all the footage I have. And she explained it. She said, no, you don't understand. It's like a new language and a new way of being. I can't always say what I want. The language isn't there. And you have to learn this new language, she told me.
Wow.
And it's just like so profound. And she wanted to tell me what's going on, but she didn't, like, she couldn't access the words.
The words. Yeah. That's the sad thing. They're different. They're not themselves. And then the sad thing is, it kind of like they're locked in this box. And that's frustrating because they're locked in there and they can't get out and they can't explain to you, and they don't understand, so it's such an amazing disease to have.
When I feel guilty, I try to remind myself that I'm doing the best I can. And I took care of her a number of, 4 years,
Absolutely. Yeah.
That meant no sleeping, it was not easy.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. Yeah.
It's a sacrifice, and I talked to her about it. I mean, I'm glad that she still kind of remembers who I am. Like, she looks at me and she thinks I'm her sister and says her name. And then I say, Mom, look again. Am I your sister or am I Simin? And then she said, oh, yeah, you're Simin. So she she knows.
Yeah.
And and I hug her and I say, Mom, is it okay that you're here? And she doesn't really know what that means. It seems, but she says, yeah, it's okay, So
my mom, one thing I was so grateful for. She never forgot who I was. I was so afraid of that. But she never did. She never did. But my mom, when she was there, she thought that she was waiting for the doctor. So every day for like forever, she's like, when is this doctor coming? I've been sitting here all day, And so I just go with it like, okay, well, he's coming. First, I tried to explain, and then I realized, I had to learn that you have to be with them where they're at. In their mind, you just got to go with it.
Yes, you're really good.
You have to. Yeah. So you have to let her have her world and just play along with it.
I actually wanted to read a list, but no, I didn't bring it to this interview of it's a very simple list of things to remember when you are with someone with dementia. And it really helps to know those. And one of them is to go with, like some people say the truth. And I did do that a lot in the beginning, but realized that in the beginning, because it got her so agitated and upset. And it wasn't worth it because it wasn't going to change. But also another thing is that in the beginning, when she first got to the home, she did want to leave a lot. And I feel bad about that. She wanted to leave, and they had to put a thing on her, a wristband that would prevent the elevator from opening when she came. So,
Yeah. It's a lot. I mean, you have to take it day by day. That's why, try to get as much information out as possible because, you can't totally prepare for it. You just can't. But if you know a little bit more, like, to go with them in whatever situation they're in, just play along with it, recognize certain things and things like that. And just to seek the proper help for you, those things would help. And to kind of plan, talk to your family about it. If you notice these things and you see, they're slipping a little bit or forgetting a little bit, start talking to your family then. You don't understand like how much of a burden it is and how much is, and I don't mean like it's in a bad way, but it is. It's a burden if you have your own life and you're doing things, but it's like you want to, and that's the problem. Like you're emotional, so you want to help. That's your parent. You want to help. And you're limited. You're limited in what you can do, so it's good to get other people involved, get your family members involved if you can, and I think it's good to talk to your parent ahead of time.
Absolutely.
Talking to them. What happens if this happens? That this can happen, or this possibility could happen, or these different scenarios. What happened? What would you like to do? What would you be okay living with me or living with your sister or or your other child? Say something. See where their head is at.
It's so important. It's so important. That's so important to do. But I'm really glad that I had some resources, and the insurance gave me some resources to bring some people into the house so that I could go to work and know that my mom was safe. And that happened. That went on for 4 years, and she was a part of our family in a nice way. And these ladies came, and they became, in a way, a part of our family in those days. The insurance gave me 6 hours of care. That was really good, and I'm glad that I found out about that. I don't think, I'm glad that I didn't put her in a home right away. I was able to do it for a while. And then, I couldn't anymore, but that was very helpful.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So, is there anything like what have you thought about anything plans for, future or anything that you want to like even tell anybody to try to think about, certain things for the future? Like, how is that now? How are you feeling now?
Well, today I'm feeling really good because Fumi knows what she's doing, and I met her there, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so grateful. And Fumi said, look, I'm going to take her out. So she immediately, is a beautiful day. She figured out how to write, like sign, whatever, and they went into the park together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this was the first day. So I'm like, oh my God, it's just so great. My mom's lucky, she is lucky. So today I feel good, because that lady Fumi came. But one thing I wanted to say is that the way I understand dementia is like this. Yeah, it's easy to get impatient with people who have dementia, but you have to understand they're trying their best to communicate. And if they want to say book, their brain is saying this, glass, because glass contains things, books contain things. They speak in a beautiful poetic language sometimes as they are trying to communicate with you, and as they're trying to get words that at least might have a similar meaning.
Right. Okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate the conversation. And not only helps other people, it helps me too. It's kind of like a continuing thing with me. But I'm glad that she has her assistant that you like, and that she's someplace where she can utilize her languages, which is going to help her. You know what I mean? That's going to help her. So that's good. And that you're comfortable, with there, and you have it already set up. So I know it's hard. I know it's a struggle. It's going to be good days. It's going to be bad days. It's, but you're doing the best you can. You're not alone, and you have to know that she's lucky to have you. Some people go through this and they don't have anybody. There are people in those homes and nursing homes, and they don't have anybody. They don't have a family. They don't have a neighbor to come. They don't have anybody. So you are lucky that she has you.
That is terrifying.
Yeah. So, just know that, you have each other. She's still here, love her, hold her, do whatever you can to make her feel, just at that moment. It's about moments, because you don't know what's going to happen. So it's about moments. So enjoy whatever moments that you can have with her, because, it's a blessing to be able to, touch her and be there and talk to her, even if she's not making sense. It's still a blessing just to talk to her, hear her voice, hear her say your name. I used to make my mother say my name every time, just like, what's my name, and she would joke and laugh and call me other things, but she gets to it. She liked to play around. So, but but it's good. Just that.
I wish I'd met your mom.
I wish everybody had met her. Like, she was just so much fun. She really did. The children love her. The children, my children love her. So, but I'm grateful that you were able to share your story and share something that may help somebody else. And just know that, listen, you're not alone out there. Other people are going through it and have gone through it. And, stay the course, do what you can. You can't do everything. You cannot do everything you want to. Your heart wants you to, but you can't do everything. Understand that and do the best you can. So thank you, Simin, for talking to us. Thank you for being on Autumn Here. And I really appreciate it. This is very important. Thank you.